And I was like, oh my goodness, I drank too much. And it was during the day, like 10 o'clock in the morning, y'all.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi, Bean Beauties, Didi Bean here. How y'all doing today? Today, guess what it is? It's Tres Amigas Day. Yay! I have
Laura the Camochita.
and
Deleen with Yesha Lux.
and me, Didi Bean. Yay! Today we are doing a Thanksgiving episode, so hopefully if everything goes right, happy Thanksgiving today. Thank you so much for spending your Thanksgiving day with us today, and we just thought that we'd give a little bit of what are we grateful for today, and especially in particular, what has YouTube done for us as content creators, as people, as friends, that kind of stuff, and that's kind of what the topic was that I wanted to pick for this Thanksgiving. So if you're interested in, then come on back. All right, Bean Beauties. Hi, Laura. Hi, Deleen.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Friendsgiving.
Happy Friendsgiving. Yay. I actually have friends. Yay.
Real life friends.
Real life friends.
Yeah, They're not virtual.
They're not virtual, exactly. We're real friends. Poke, poke. So today the topic is going to be what has YouTube done for me? What are we grateful for? Because I did want to give back emotionally to y'all, emotionally to my friends, and just kind of let y'all in a little bit on what YouTube has done for me and how grateful I am for it. So I'm going to go first, if y'all don't mind, because otherwise I will forget or I will chicken out. so I'm going to go ahead and go first. So YouTube has done a lot for me in particular. When I first started YouTube, I really wasn't myself at home anymore because during the pandemic, during the shutdown, I had really changed as far as I always ask, if you watch any of my lives, I always ask y'all, are you introverted, are you extroverted? Because I feel like for me and kind of what the studies that I have done, that plays a big role in how you really do your entire life. And for me, I am an extroverted person. However, during the shutdown, I found myself after the couple of years where I became introverted. And I almost became hermit-like, and I almost became to where I didn't want to be around people, which is not like me. And it wasn't like I didn't feel necessarily like I was depressed, or I didn't feel necessarily like I was, any kind of that kind of emotional stuff, but I did feel like I wasn't myself. And there wasn't anything that I could focus on. There wasn't, we really couldn't go out. Even after everything started opening up, we could go on vacations. We started going back cruising and stuff. So I was okay with my husband, but as far as with family and friends, I was always really reserved, even on the cruises after the shutdown. And they were like, always asking me, are you okay? Are you okay? And I was okay. It's just that I had gotten used to the quiet. I got used to not have anybody to talk to. Ooh, I'm gonna start crying.
Yeah, engaging with others.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when my husband had suggested, he said, why don't you, I came home with, they delivered literally a ton of boxes. I'll try to insert the picture of my thumbnail. And he said, okay, I'm tired of hearing about your purses and stuff. You need to go on YouTube and talk to people over there because I don't care about your purses. Not in a mean way, but in a nice way, But actually, it was the best thing that he had ever done for me, He said that, and then later on, I was encouraged by other content creators. So I said, oh, what the heck? And I saw myself, and I felt myself changing back to the person that I authentically was, or am. And so then also, too, with that, it not only brought me back to who I am and who I truly how I truly belong to, myself. But it brought friends like y'all, I never, ever would have thought in a million years that I would have developed friends, like in-person friends. Yeah. I halfway thought maybe in the back of my mind that I might have a YouTube BFF, which I do, which is Melissa from Melissa's Corner. Sorry, Melissa, I do that every time. I had it right the first time. So that was great. And I wasn't wanting or anything more than that. I was like, okay, that was a prayer answered. You know,
Yeah.
I found myself again. I was enjoying what I was doing. I loved my subscribers. You know, I was slow growing, but even though I had a slow amount of subscribers, I did have a really good viewer base. Like my views were really good. I met my 4,000 hours like pretty quick. You know, I was just waiting like almost a year for my subs, but I had the hours really quick. So I felt like, okay, people are liking my personality, they're liking me, and I felt like, hey, I have something to contribute. You know, you start getting comments and emails of like, hey, I'm sick too, and I'm glad that you're doing this. It's giving me some inspiration and things like that. So you start building a community, and I was missing that because I was no longer involved in church. I was no longer, you know, volunteering at the kids' school, you know, any of that stuff, because I just physically couldn't do it anymore. So with YouTube, those things were slowly coming back. And then when I met the two of y'all and we got to, you know, look now where we're at, Tres Amigas.
Yay.
It's just
so cool.
Really, yeah,
That's really
it
nice.
just really has blessed my life. So I want to tell you both, thank you very much. And I don't want to cry, but I also want to tell you subs, viewers, thank you. It means a lot. Thank you so much for watching, for clicking. Even if you're just clicking for 30 seconds, it means a lot because you're at least taking that time out to spend some time with us, you know, with each individual of us in our channels. And as content creators, every time that you see a view or every time you see a like or you see a comment, even if it's like, and this one, throw a bunch of turkeys down in the comment box, you know, if you see all that, that helps the connection, you know.
It does.
Yes, it helps us grow, but personally, it helps me with that connection and bringing me out of that person who I wasn't, you know, who I wasn't. So I am grateful to YouTube for that, for bringing me y'all, first of all, bringing me my YouTube BFF, Melissa, all of my friends on YouTube, and then my really hometown live people, real life touchy people. So I can probably say a whole bunch more, but I just want to start there and then offer the floor to either one of y'all to see kind of where we want to go from there. Either one of y'all want to say anything?
Laura, did you want to go or you want me to go?
You go.
Okay. Well, I am thankful for YouTube because when I first started YouTube, I actually quit my full-time job. I worked at a trucking company and I was doing HR, and it got really stressful and I ended up quitting. So I didn't know what to do with myself and I was sitting at home, and so this was 6 years ago.
Wow.
A little over 6 years ago, and I decided one day when I was watching YouTube that, you know what, I got a brand new purse. I think I'm going to talk about it on YouTube. And I remember it was my black Alma BB in the epi leather, and I remember being so excited about it. And I remember when my first video was awful, by the way. My first, second, third.
I feel like all of those.
Yes,
everybody feels
was
that
awful,
way, yeah.
And I didn't feel like I was myself, but so it kind of pushed me to do something like that because I felt like I didn't just want to sit at home. And then after doing that for about a year, then I decided, okay, I also want to do real estate. So sitting at home and also doing YouTube and talking about my bags. I also met some friends. I think Yoda was one of my first friends, and Irene, I don't know if you guys know her. I'll give you
Yeah,
the
I'll put them
down
below.
below.
Yeah.
So those two were one of my first two friends, and this lady named Isabel. She only puts up a video once in a while now. I'll go ahead and send you her. And you know, they were some of my first friends, and so we used to talk a lot. So anyways, because I had quit my job and I wasn't I didn't have an income anymore, I felt so useless, and it was such an awkward feeling to feel that way. And I still feel that way because I don't have a full-time job. I am a real estate agent. When you have income that comes in automatically and it's the same amount, once in a while I'll get bonuses. It's not the same as doing real estate. So, and I don't know. It was just a feeling that I actually couldn't get over, and it took me a while to. Once in a while I'll still feel that way because my husband does work a lot because of that reason, but.
Because you don't have that second income.
Yes.
You have to spread it out. So when you
Yes.
get like a commission or bonus, you have to spread it out like over a year,
Yes.
right? Versus a standard bi-weekly paycheck that you
Exactly.
are getting every
Yeah.
every 2 weeks or monthly.
Yeah.
Because if I don't get paid 1 month, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't get paid 1 month.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
and it takes time to close a house.
Yeah.
So that also, it depends on that as well. So it gets to, it was pretty rough on me at the beginning. And I think I was just slightly maybe depressed about that. So YouTube actually helped me a little bit. So thank goodness. And then me making friends and talking to them made me feel better. And then becoming a real estate agent, I started going to school, and that helped me feel better about myself as well. So I kind of started working my way up to doing different things.
So when you started YouTube, if you don't mind me asking, did you know that you were feeling depressed? I mean, is that what pushed you to start it, or you just said something I need to do, something to try?
No, because I started YouTube right a little bit like 2 weeks after I quit my job. So it's just something that I just decided, and I was kind of excited about doing it. And I didn't know what I was going to do, but I was very excited about that. I didn't know that I wasn't going to go back to a 9-to-5 job ever again. I wasn't really sure.
Right.
I just know I wanted to go to school for something, and I just decided on the real estate school. I thought about becoming an esthetician, but
You did.
yeah,
That would have been fun.
I almost did that,
That would've
but
been
I
fun.
just decided no.
Yeah, I asked that because I guess when you look back at the journey, because I started March the 25th is when I released my first video of 2023, and when I started that, I had no idea how I was feeling, and I started it just my husband said it was, hey, you need to start it. I don't want to hear about that. He jokingly,
Yes.
but I think subconsciously he was also trying to say, maybe this is something that'll give you something to do, kind of thing, because there really wasn't, I do the bills, and I would do those like every day, and that was like really it, I mean, the grandkids weren't doing much, because we were still just post pandemic stuff. And so I didn't realize until I started becoming myself again, I didn't realize how, and I talk to my doctor about this all the time. It's like, I'm not depressed because I get up every day, I do all these things, I took care of my mom when she was ill. It's like, how can I be depressed? Because in my mind, your depression is like you're under the blankets, you don't want to do anything, because that's my experience with other people. And I said, I'm not depressed. Don't tell me I'm depressed.
I was never like that.
Yeah. And so she had to explain to me all the different stages and what happens, and that you don't feel like you're yourself and all that. And so it wasn't until like later that I'm going, when I started getting better, that I was thinking, I didn't realize that it wasn't me.
Yeah.
But that, like you say, that feeling of feeling useless to your family, useless to society, useless to your church, was a hard, devastating thing to realize. And I actually didn't even comprehend that feeling until I did I was on a live and I started crying. And everything because it was I don't even remember what the live was, but I was just thanking them and what have you, that were on the live, and I realized, oh my God, I used to feel useless. I used to feel like, because I was sick and everything, and when you're sick from whatever the sickness is that it takes away so much from you, no matter what it is, and it's a devastating thing. But I just wanted you to know, I completely understand when you were talking about that feeling.
And I couldn't clean my house.
Yeah.
and we had to hire a maid, a cleaning lady also. So because of that, that even made me feel worse.
Yes, because you're not bringing in any money. You can't contribute physically.
Because of the illness.
Right.
Yes, I've gotten a lot better, thank goodness, and it has a lot to do with me getting out and not sitting around, which also helps with fibromyalgia, taking my medication on time,
and I'm
being
sure
around people that make me happy, because those also contribute to the pain that I get. Because because fibromyalgia is all in your, like your brain sends out signals to your body, and if I'm happy, I feel somewhat better. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And me doing YouTube and getting new bags and talking about it and talking to people on there
Because
and
you're
watching
not focused on
Yes,
that.
I'm so focused on what was on there. It made a big difference to me.
Well, it's like what they talk about. I kind of equate it to what they talk about, like that runner's high. I've never had that. I've had the shopping high, you know, but that runner's high, you know, that they talk about, you know, I kind of equate it when you're doing something that you're just enjoying. And it was like, I was just enjoying with me and y'all, you know, and that was the thing, is like, it was like, I didn't have to worry about any outside noise from the real people, the you know, in-person people. It was just, I got on the tubes, I recorded what I wanted to record, I put it out there, and it's like, if y'all reciprocated to us, and then it was like, hey, you know, it wasn't instantaneously, because you had to wait for it to, you know, to post, and you had to wait for the responses and all that. But when it comes back to you, you're like, oh, so you get excited about doing the video, you get excited about editing it, you get excited about doing the thumbnail. At least I do.
I have fun
you know,
editing.
I at each stage, you know, I get excited about it, and then when you're like, well, you know, now what? Then it launches, and then those comments come in, and that's why we always tell you on the Tres Amigas is that please talk to us in the comments.
That's
tell
right.
us if there's something specific you want to know, something you like, something you don't like, you know, so we can help suggestions, you know, of the new topics, because the new year's coming up, and we need some new topics to go over, but because that also helps us. So a lot of you have said to each of us individually and as a group that y'all are enjoying it, and that we're helping y'all, but y'all just don't understand how much y'all are helping us. And so, so that's one of the reasons is that we're extremely, or I'm extremely thankful for you who are in this little screen.
And you know, the comments that I would get, I would so look forward to that.
Yes.
I wanted to know what people thought and and what they would say, and it gave me something to look forward to. So I do want to bring that up as well. Because it was a new thing for me back then, and it was just so nice to have people go back and comment and enjoy watching your channel. So that was a big deal to me.
I love it, because that's very, very true, because, you know, as an only child growing up, I was used to having an imaginary friend, somebody to talk to, right? And that's how I kind of feel like I'm just gonna come out here and just talk about things that I like, and hopefully somebody likes the same thing that I do, or I can share a good deal with you guys, and you know where to go and find a good deal or whatever. But it's like, you feel like you're talking to an imaginary friend. You're a real person, but it's like, this is my imaginary friend. I'm talking to somebody, and hopefully whatever we say reaches people and resonates, and they think it's, you know, whether it's a handbag or something that we happen to talk about or share about. So it's very nice having that communication with the viewers. And I always, sometimes I wish, like when people comment, and sometimes it's just a standard code kind of a name. It's a person. It doesn't show their name, and I'm like,
their handle. It's just their handle.
It's just the handle, but I'm like, I wish it was like their name, so I could address you personally. Like, hey Deleen, hey, thanks for watching, Deleen. Thanks for watching Cami, or whatever, right?
That's how
you know.
I feel,
Yes. But the comments do. The comments really make it, because it makes it really to where it's like, okay, I literally spent like, I hate editing. You like editing? I like editing. I hate editing. Because literally for one video that I put out, I've probably spent like 5 hours editing it, because I'm doing it like on my lunch breaks or you know, at home or whatever, because I talk a lot. right? So like I talk
Yeah.
a lot. So a 30-minute, so if I upload a 20-minute video, I had 50 minutes of, I literally had probably like 50 minutes of
Yeah.
content. It was a 50-minute video and I had to bring it down to like 20 or maybe 30, right? And it's just like all of that editing out and stuff like that, and adding in pics of whatever I'm talking about or whatever,
Yeah.
to show you where to find a great deal or what
Yeah.
have you. So, but the comments from everybody makes the difference because it just makes it worth the time of the editing that we just spent.
It does.
And it's it's very appreciated.
Yeah.
And as a content creator, I now understand the importance of it, right? Because for many years, when I finally discovered that there was a luxury community, right, in YouTube, and I started watching YouTube videos, I don't know, like let's just say, I think back in like 2017, maybe 2018, I think is when I really found out about, you know, YouTube, that there was this community, and I started to watch, and I would just watch tons of videos, everybody's videos, you know, whether it was like Winnie, whether it was Yoda or Don Cormier, for years, I would just watch, and I would just watch. And okay, move on to the next, move on to the next, move on to the next. And I'd never commented.
I didn't either.
And I was very bad about that, right? Until now that I'm a content creator, and you start to develop the friendships on YouTube as you're watching them. And so now you realize the importance of really commenting.
Because you don't
Just
know.
because
You
you
didn't.
yes.
I didn't know that it was that important
Right,
back then.
right. And it was like, here I thought I was supporting you by just watching and liking,
Yes.
but it really does make a difference when somebody takes the time to comment.
Yeah.
And it could be random, like it could be something that I shared or talked about, or when you know, somebody said, hey, I really love the paint color in your guest room, right? And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, that's this or whatever, right? You know, and it's just something random like that.
Yeah.
But hey, but we love it and we appreciate it. So for those things, I'm thankful because I can connect, like you say, with somebody like-minded that is
Right.
out there, that we love handbags, or you love a good deal, or I can connect with you because I'm sharing a military discount because you're a military spouse or you're a military family member or something, to where that we share content that has reached you that you like, and you learn about something new, and I'm able to connect with somebody like that because like you mentioned, we have friends that they're not into handbags or they're not into that, or they find spending so much money on a handbag frivolous.
Right.
That's what I was told. That's
Yeah.
frivolous.
Yes.
And so it's like, okay, well, when I'm with that friend, it's not something that I know I'm
You
going to
bring
be
up,
talking about. Yeah, I don't bring it up. And and everybody's thing is different as to how they spend their money. So within this community, it's been nice to where we have these friends, right, virtual friends that we're communicating with, and they comment, and then the fact of the bonus of us just being able to meet
Yeah.
and actually having real life friends to where we get excited for one another when you say, hey, I bought my first Fendi, or I got another Dooney, or I got another Coach, or whatever it is. And we actually, you know, real life, you bring them over and we're here, we're looking at it, or we meet for lunch. And so that's the nice thing about
The judgment-free zone.
It
Yes.
is, yeah.
Judgment-free zone, perfect.
Yeah.
Like you say, something to look forward to during the pandemic, to watch the videos. And I toyed for several years to whether to create my channel, because I always wanted, because I'm like, well, I have all these bags and I want to share them too, or I want to share this, or then especially, you know, being a military spouse and wanting to share discounts like that so that people know about them. And I wanted to share that, but then when the pandemic hit, a lot of YouTubers were getting backlash. I can't believe you're talking about luxury during this community. So a lot of people were talking about that, and I was like, okay, no, I better not. So I held off. So
That
then I
might
held
be
off.
the reason why I kind of toned down on it now that I think about it.
And you know, because I was into a lot of more of the planner community and the makeup community at that time. And they were holding back, and they were like, well, maybe not. And I was like, no, I need you to escape. That's how I felt. It's like, I wanted to escape, you know, and if you can still do this, then great. If you can still buy these palettes, and right now I can, let me live vicariously through you. You know, it's like, I got to the point where I wasn't watching the news because that also was bringing me down. And I figured, okay, if the world came to an end, if I had to evacuate, somebody's gonna, if I have to evacuate, somebody's gonna knock on the door and make sure I'm gone, we're not home. If there's something in the news, then my husband was still watching it, he'll let me know, hey, you need to know this or whatever. But I tried my best to encourage the content creators, be frivolous, please. There's still people out here who don't want to be in the heavy. We don't want to be in the heavy.
We don't think about that.
Yeah.
And for us, and for us, it was a very hard time with my husband losing his parents at that
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And this was an escape, right? This was an escape for it.
And I'm sorry you felt that way.
And at the same time, too, I was, like a lot of YouTubers were getting the backlash because of it. And so they were very, not publishing as much, right? For a while, they were respectftive of it. And then they're like, you know what? A lot of people it doesn't bother people, so I'm just going to continue.
Yeah,
right?
if it bothers you, don't watch.
Yes.
Don't watch.
I still kind of refrain from it because just out of respect, I was like, in our culture we have luto, a time of mourning.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, I'm going to wait a year because in case family members found out, I was like, I don't need them to turn around and say, hey, you're talking about luxury when your spouse's parents passed away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then I waited for that time to pass by. But during that time when a lot of the content creators started to go back in and start to make their videos, that was a time as well where either good deals were happening or you were able to kind of buy a little bit more luxury because you weren't taking those trips.
Right.
Yes.
You weren't going anywhere.
People
Right.
had more money.
So people had more money. And I remember we went to South Padre for several days, and we always go to this shop where they have really fun decorations and stuff like that. And so we went in and we were chatting with the lady, and she was like, "This is the busiest we've ever been." She's like, "This is the busiest we've ever been." She says, "Because people aren't going nowhere." She's like, "People aren't going nowhere." She goes, "And everybody wants to decorate their house." And so it was prime time for them because the money that they would have spent traveling the thousands to, like, my customer over here is not going to Europe, so they're decorating their vacation condo or their vacation their condo. So
Home Depot, Lowe's, they were like out of
people
everything.
Were doing their own home
yes,
things,
exactly.
Yes.
DIY everything.
DIY everything. So it was that time where a lot of people were doing other things with that money because we weren't traveling or what have you, but it was still a good distraction. So it was a distraction. So to me, I was like, bring on the video. I don't care. I understand it. But then when they started to finally go back and make it, I was like, okay, cool. Now I'm back to, watching.
Yeah.
It was the distraction, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's been, it's got its blessings. It's got its blessings of meeting people and connecting with those. I wish I had more. The change for me, how it's changed is I feel like I have less time for myself.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I have less time for myself to really go and exercise or spend time with my husband or whatever. So I've had to, like he had said, you know what? He's like, look, you're always editing. He goes, so you need to pick one day a week to where you don't edit, right? So whether it's a Friday or a Saturday, and that's our time. This way, he goes, because if not, you're going to be there you're going to be on your iPad and you're editing and stuff like that. And so it was just a matter of setting time for that. And that's things that you have to think about, right?
Yeah.
It is. It takes a lot of my time when I do my videos and stuff like that, and edit also. So just doing the videos takes time.
Right.
Sometimes I have to do it, take one, take two, and I'm like, oh my goodness, and just redo it.
Yeah. Or like we don't want to waste good makeup, right? So
exactly.
I know.
My hair looks good today.
Let me record 1 or 2 videos really quick. Let me knock them out so I have them, and then we can space them out or whatever. Because I want to value. I need to make more time because life is short. Right. We've learned life is short, and we don't know. And so it's like a matter of spending that time, with our loved ones and things like that. So it has its blessings because yes, we're able to communicate and we appreciate the comments because that's what makes it worth us spending this time away from our families, from editing. And so the comments that everybody makes, it just makes it all worthwhile.
It's such a big deal to me.
Yeah.
You had said about like you always had an imaginary friend because you were a single child, kind of thing. And so the comments, what I was thinking about, I didn't want to interrupt you, was that when she was talking about the comments, it's like, well, your imaginary friend is actually talking back to you now. Your imaginary friend is saying, hi Laura, how you doing? That's one of the beauties about doing lives too, is that during the lives, the viewers, the subscribers, y'all give us your names more in there. So I have always, one of the things I have always wanted to do, and I've tried to do it from the beginning, and there's very few times where I don't do it, but I always say hi and then I'll usually cut your channel. Like there's one subscriber, her name is Bree Kenya, I think. And so I said, okay, that's too hard for me to say, so I do Bree. So I always hi Bree. And I always try to say hi Laura, or hi, if I didn't know it was Laura, hi Camel, or hi Yoshia.
Yes.
Always try
Yes.
to, whatever that is respect that as their name, and then always say hi and then go on to it, because I wanted to build that that personal touch. So I understood what you were saying about that is that you wish you would know their name, is not just the handle.
Yeah.
But sometimes hiding behind the handle is how some people can maneuver, and I'm fine with that. So I'm not trying to be disrespectful. If I cut your name down, it's like a nickname I'm giving you to try to make it more personable.
Pet name.
Yeah, more personal. When I started to go back to work in 2017 or something like that, 2018, around there, then I started watching the makeup videos and the skincare videos myself. And I always felt like it was something that I could do. It always felt like it was something that I could find a home in. It was like one of those things where you get that warm, fuzzy feeling, But it was like, well, what could I contribute? What could I do, And whenever I fell back into doing handbags, the handbag community, found the handbag community, it was really more, my intention was to show shopping, like everything that has to do with shopping. But then I went crazy with the handbags and so I still show shopping, do some shopping videos. I have beauty videos that I'm shopping about my Crocs. I have videos about buying my Crocs.
Because I always felt like you should not to limit yourself.
Exactly.
Even though we love the handbags and that's the majority of what we do, but not to limit ourselves, because it's like, I don't want to always be buying handbags.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Or I don't want you just to come see. I mean, I know you want to come see about the new bag I bought, but I also want you to come see about, hey, I bought a new computer, or I bought whatever kind of thing. And I guess for me, it's more about the relationship than it is about the what it is that I'm unboxing or shopping. Although some people get confused. Family get confused. I know it was a little bit hard. You talk about your friends and stuff, it was a little bit hard with family and friends, and they're like, I have always been a shopper. And I tell them, I said, I've always been a shopper. I'm not shopping for YouTube. I'm just sharing what I shop on YouTube.
But you shop for yourself, but you're sharing on YouTube.
Exactly. So it's like your birthday. I bought this for your birthday. I bought this for whatever, And the only thing that's different is now, instead of you getting a planner for your birthday, you might be getting a wallet for your birthday, because that's where my mind is going to, and that kind of stuff, or, whatever it is. But when I felt like that I could contribute something, and I felt like, hey, I'm shopping and I'm trying to make a good deal. Who doesn't want to make a good deal? Because everybody, is trying to save money. Then I like to share that. I like to share that. But it's just so interesting. And I know one of the things is that, to every good side, there's a bad side. To me, I like to stay positive. I don't want to know about the negative. I don't want to know about whatever, whatever it is. I'm not in Spanish is the chisme, I don't want to know. I don't want to be involved in that. It has to do with my health, So I try to keep my channel positive. I try to keep my channel in how I want to keep my life. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to say this, is because I wanted to say thank you for those of you who stay positive with me. Thank you for those of you who are here because we try to stay cheery, and that we're not trying to do the latest drama of the, this handbag company is doing this or whatever. We'll probably touch on some of those later on, like kind of that, but it's not what our intention is.
It's fun and lighthearted.
It's fun and lighthearted because that's where we want to stay. I want to stay in the escapism, the escapism, the escapism.
And like when you said earlier, perfectly how you said this was your way to, especially, be, because you're an extrovert and you want to be around people and talk, and then this was like your outlet for this, was your outlet for that. And especially with the pandemic, right? A lot of people ended up going back and working from home. Now, I was already working from home full time prior to the pandemic because of my role. And so I do miss the interaction with people, because like I was telling the girls earlier, I'm referred to as Loud as List. A lot of people call me as Loud as List, like Angie's List. They call me Loud as List because I'm the go-to person. If you need a plumber, you need an AC guy, you need an electrician or whatever. Or my friends, especially my male friends, are like, Amiga, I need to buy a bag for my wife. Or, hey, I'm thinking about a trip. So I was always the friend at work that people would come to, like, hey, what do you think about this? What's a good destination? Or hey, where can I go to get a deal? And so this was my outlet because I miss doing that. Interaction with people, because even though I am back in the office for a few days, I don't work with anybody on my team. And all of my team is spread out. States. I don't work with anybody in my group.
So it's like, why am I going in?
And so there's some people there, but they're not on my team or whatever. And so this was my outlet to be able to, hey, I got a good deal on this, or I got a good deal on that, or I'm sharing whatever it is, and this is my way to at least have some interaction, even though it's virtual and you're commenting and we'll respond that way. But this helps, helps with that.
It's a lot of fun.
It is. Yeah.
It is. And my grandmother was so funny because as a kid, I used to entertain myself, since I was an only child. And so to entertain myself, I used to, back in the 80s, right? Remember back in the 80s and like 70s, they did a lot of like infomercial stuff.
Yes.
Right? It could be a record. It could be like whatever. And it would be the commercial of the infomercial. And then send your is it POD or whatever, or like send a check to this or whatever, because you wanted to order whatever it was. We didn't really have QVC.
Yeah. Like, and it's normally $49.99, but today in this hour it's $29.99. Call in right now.
Or your money, send your check or your money order or whatever, blah blah. So to entertain myself, because I was bored at my grandmother's house, I would go around the house and I'd be like, and this little glass here, whatever. Like I literally would make up like my whole spiel, like how I was gonna sell it, just because I was bored. And I would be like, and then if you call now, you too can get this little pumpkin that says Familia on it. And I would go around her house, I would literally go around her house doing that to just keep time.
Okay. Well, see, I wasn't the only child. I had two brothers, an older brother and a younger brother. Okay, yeah. So I'm the middle child, right? So I would go around and I would do the same thing. I'd have the microphone and I would pretend singing. I'm a horrible singer. I would either sing or I would be a news reporter. And it's like I would look out the window and say, oh my goodness, look down the street. So-and-so is going out to get her trash. Oh, and it's raining. Okay, is she gonna fall? I would make up these scenarios. It's like, there's nobody out there. It's not raining. It's 110 degrees, I'd make up silly things like that, So for me, when I first started recording, the camera was in the pantry, literally in the pantry, because I was in our little nook area. And so this area here that I was recording was a table, and right in front was the pantry. So my husband would always say, go talk to the people in there, because y'all were in my pantry. And it was like this little world that I had in there, this little world. And so it was so great for that first, year and a half or whatever. It's just recently that I moved into my studio. And I felt, it's really funny because when I felt exposed when I moved into the studio, it took me a while to feel comfortable, because I felt like y'all were in this box and you were my people, and y'all were safe. None of the my outside family people or friends could touch y'all, So it was just weird how the setup, for me, helped me talk. And I didn't have a problem. I mean, heck, we talk all the time. Right. So I didn't have a problem. And you say that your first video, I'm sure my first video was bad. I did 3 videos back to back, 3 or 4 videos back to back, because I recorded the first one. I thought, oh, that's not too bad. Let's do some more. And I wanted to go through all the boxes. But I never felt like it was, I didn't feel at the time, maybe if I would go back and watch it now, but I didn't feel at the time that it was cringe, or I didn't feel at the time like, oh God, this was horrible. It felt natural, and it felt like a relief.
Yes, at the time.
At the time.
For me, at the time, it was like, oh, okay, this isn't bad. Look, I look good.
Yeah.
I'm talking real good. And then, 3 years later, I'm like, oh my goodness.
I don't like my intro then.
Yeah.
Whatever.
What was I thinking?
Yes.
The only thing,
it was dark and dim,
The only thing that I felt negative about, and it was my grandson's fault, because he would say, Granny, and I said, yeah. He goes, can you cut that out? And I go, cut what out? He says, And he goes, can you cut out? So I always try to cut out, because I use a lot.
I say so.
Well, hanging out with you, okay, I have gone from saying because I was telling my husband, you know, I don't hardly say anymore. And he says, you don't? Congratulations. I said, no, I say so all the time.
So I have to edit that out.
I always put you guys. I have to cut that out.
Okay, wait, don't listen to that. But I have to edit that because if he watches a video, and he will always watch that video that I've left one because sometimes the is so close to another thought process, you can't really cut it out. So you have to leave it in there. He says, Granny, you have 3 in this video. So he was my little critique, my little director.
That is so cute. I love that.
Yeah, so it's like, oh my goodness, that was the only thing. But he didn't say it ugly or anything. So when I say or now when I do that, I'm like, okay, how many do I have to?
Yeah.
You know, that was really the only thing. So if you're thinking about creating a channel and you're thinking about just popping on, you know, have your goals. Try to go with like no expectations, but have goals. You know, have little goals. I had little goals. My first goal was I want 5 subscribers that are not family members or friends. And I got those, you know.
Yeah.
Then I had the next goal was, you know, I wanted to get like, I think I wanted to get the next one. I was like, well, maybe I can do a video that has like 20 views, you know, and you do that. So it was little things. Always in the back of my mind, but I was always afraid to verbalize it until probably like 6 months in or so. Was I always had in the back of my mind, I would like to get monetized. Not for the money, but for the accomplishment.
Yeah. Feel important.
Yeah. And because there was a little bit of pushback, negativity, and I don't want to say it, you know, I don't want to, you know, hurt my family's feelings or anything, but there was, you know, there was, you know, some snide comments. There's, you know, I wasn't on it to get accolation, is that how you say? Yeah, or anything. I was on it because I wanted to feel useful.
Yes.
You know, and
that was me.
When the hub said something, he says, "Babe, you know, I see the light in your eyes again." And then a couple of months later, my brother says, "I'm so proud of you." He says, "I watched a video and, you know, I was so proud of you, you know, and everything." And then sometimes when I watch myself, I'm like, hey, that was pretty good. That little segment was pretty good and everything. And so getting monetized was more of a thing of the fact that you felt important in YouTube's eyes, I guess. You know, I mean, there's not a big plaque. They don't send you even a letter. I mean, there's just a little thingy on your YouTube, on your thing, like, hey, you got monetized, yeah, kind of thing. I screenshotted that baby. I might blow myself up a poster or something, but I told y'all, you know, the viewer and my subscribers, that I didn't do it alone. You know, I did it with y'all's help. For every video you watched, every time you hit a thumbs up, every time you shared my content, the content creators who embraced me, who reached out to me, there's so many that did it, and it kept coming on, that, you know. And also too, I think God worked his magic through this little medium that could be a horrible thing. For me, it has been nothing but positive. And that's one of the messages I try to say, and want you to be thankful, especially today that it's Thanksgiving, is that if you consistently look for something positive, if you consistently try to stay on the glass half full end of things, that you're looking for that positive stuff, that you're looking for those things that are pricking you up or picking other people up. I don't ever, if I see a video of somebody who I just cannot stand the video for whatever reason, then back out, you know, watch something else. Or if it's, you know, if a friend of mine and it's a bag, even if it's a bag, it's like, I want, you know, I mean, because luxury, I mean, high-end luxury, you know, I would never say, hey, I can't believe you paid that much money. It would be, oh my God, that color is so beautiful.
Exactly.
Find something positive to
And
say.
I always say positive things. Yeah, I just think it's so important, you know, to say positive things. I have never said anything negative to anybody that I viewed, even though if I don't maybe believe in some things or don't like certain things, or if they've overspent that's not what it's about. I mean,
No.
It's not our business.
it's
Right,
none of our
right.
business. We don't know their life, and we got to treat everyone like we want to be treated. I think that's so important. And always, you know, you've got to have nice comments for people, because you don't know what they've gone through that day or whatever that would upset them. And you know, life is just about being nice to people. That's what we got to learn to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, we got to learn to be that way, no matter what.
Exactly.
If you have to bite your tongue, just bite it.
Exactly.
You know, just bite your tongue. If you don't like it, don't watch it.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way I see it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly. And it's just a matter of, like how you were saying, finding, if you do choose to do become a content creator on YouTube, and just, you know, do it for the right reasons, right? Something that content that you're going to enjoy to put out there, and that you know that it's going to take a little bit of time. You know, it's going to take effort, and you know, I would love to be like Cammy one day, where it's just you know, knock it out, right?
Yeah.
And one shot, one kill. That's what my husband says. Like, knock it out, one shot, one kill. Where she just doesn't edit. And
Yeah.
She just does. I one day want to grow up and be like Cammy.
She doesn't even mess up.
I know. It's
How
just,
does she not mess
Exactly.
up?
She
Unless
just goes
she
with it.
times herself. She's like,
Right.
oh, it's getting past 15
Yeah,
minutes
exactly.
here.
I better wrap up.
Yeah.
Cammy, you're awesome. by
I
the way.
know. And so it's just like, so I was like, I want to grow up and be like that one day. But it's just, you know, doing it for the right reasons, and just having fun with it. And the nice thing about, you know, getting to actually meet people. And one of the reasons too why I had done it, why I kind of started, was not just to share, you know, things that I like, but also like when I would play around at my grandmother's house, and she would always tell me, she's like, Mijita, she would, you need to be on TV. She would always tell me, you need to be on TV, or, you know, the way you talk and this and that, you need to be on TV. So for me, this is my way to give back to her.
I think
That's an excellent way. Thank you, Juanita. Thank you so much. There's so many reasons, and even for it's individually, and those content creators who are watching individually, there's so many reasons when you become a content creator that you start learning about yourself. You start learning like this, that maybe you weren't originally thinking about that, but then you know that's what's been keeping you in, you know. And like my mom too, she's passed away now. Before, you know, I could do this, and I think she would be so happy, and I know my dad too would be so proud of me just trying, you know. They were always like, come from the thing of like, just try. If you fail, that's okay. What did you learn? It was never a matter of don't try something because you're gonna fail. It's like, try it. If you fail, that's okay. Then maybe you can get up again and move on, you know. And that's how it was for me for YouTube, was the fact that I had been thinking about it. I had thought, okay, I came really close to doing the planner stuff, because when I was in there, so I had plenty of supplies, you know, to do all that stuff. And but then I was like, you know what? I shop for everything. And right now I'm shopping for handbags. I'm going crazy. Maybe next month or next year I'm not going to be doing handbags, but I'm still going to be shopping.
You can throw in some planners here and there. I have thrown in some of my planner stuff in there, especially at the beginning. You know,
Because that helps us learn about something different. Like if you were to share that, I'd be like, oh, okay, like that's something out there that I hadn't thought of, or read, or whatever.
And I would drink wine in mine, and I remember I was like, take one, take two, take three, and next thing I know, I was drunk on one of mine, and my eyes were little, but I didn't act it. I just knew my eyes were little, and I was like, oh my goodness, I drank too much, and it was during the day, like 10 o'clock in the morning, y'all.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. So I've done some crazy stuff because of that, you know.
So if you're lonely, if you're tired, you know, if you're whatever it is, let me know that you're on a channel. And
we will subscribe.
We will subscribe to you.
We
You have
will do
3
it.
off the bat.
That's right. Just
let us know. Let us know. We
I'll
will go
support
watch.
you.
Yeah, we will go watch.
Like Lori Smiling Cat, she just said
Yes!
her husband has a channel. I was like, what? Your husband
Oh,
has
I
a channel?
know.
Yeah. And she goes, yeah. She goes, he has his own channel too. And I'm like, well, send me his information so I can subscribe, because that's the only way we know.
You're right.
Yes.
Is if you, because I'll tell you one thing is that YouTube will not, when you're under 1,000 subscribers, YouTube is not going to push you out. They're not. It's just how it is, you know, because you're not making them any money. You're just using the platform because you don't have, your channel doesn't have advertisements. You don't have anything like that. So it's basically going to be word of mouth. It's basically going to be somebody stumble across a small channel.
Yeah.
And what I did early on is I would do content creators under 500 subscribers, and it would come up, or I would Google it, small content creators, and that's kind of what I kept doing until I could find one. And so I would find that's how I would find small content creators in all the makeup, the planner, and the luxury handbag communities. Is I was looking. I watched the bigger channels, some of the bigger channels,
Yeah.
but because
they won't view yours as much.
Yeah, they won't, or sometimes they will, or they'll subscribe. They'll subscribe to you,
but they won't.
Yeah, but it's more. It's more of the fact that I felt like I could help them.
Yes.
By watching them, they
And
needed the
they
views
need that,
more. And sometimes their content was like,
Really
fabulous, really
Yes.
good, and I was like, why isn't this person getting
Yes.
like
They'll
y'all?
get there.
Yeah, like y'all need to watch Fashion Without Limitations, which is Beanbeauti. I do not understand why her channel does not, I'll link it here and I'll put a picture here, why she does not get more views. She has fabulous content. I've helped her a little bit and tried to, I've suggested a few things. She's changed a few things, and I see her subscriber count go up and her views going up, but I'm just thinking, she's got like fabulous taste, great fashion sense and stuff, but I'm like, I don't understand why she's not gaining more traction,
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those things that you just have to, don't get discouraged,
Yeah.
let us know, and then we'll help
Right.
you out as best as we can.
Yes, exactly.
But being thankful is what we're here for today.
Yes.
And I'm very thankful for you guys.
Oh, I'm very
Yes.
thankful
And
for you all.
everybody.
Yes, very thankful. And also too, we definitely have to say thankful to our spouses, our husbands.
Yes, my husband has definitely supported me and
Yes.
has bought me a few handbags.
Yes.
for
Yes.
us.
Yes. Giving us the either gifted them or allowed me to like purchase them with my money, right? Because there's a lot of people where they have to turn. There's some wives that have to turn their income over to their husband,
Oh,
right?
wow.
And so I don't get any
Pushback.
I don't get any pushback as to that's your money, you spend it how you want.
Yeah.
And him being very supportive of that, and actually very supportive of cleaning this house to host.
To host us,
and
yeah.
AMIGAS table talks, and so it's just a lot of things to be thankful for, and our friends, and that we have like-minded friends, virtual like-minded friends, and then actually in-person friends where we can chat about these things that we like. We have these common interests.
It's all come from because of YouTube, and thank y'all very much. And my husband, I cannot say enough, and I don't want to cry again. But he has been my number one supporter. Yeah, he would go, hey hun, did you know your video got so many views? I said, oh no. And he goes, hey, you just got 2 subscribers. Did you know that? What video? And I'm like, and now he says, I can't tell because now where you're at, it's like 1,000, but it doesn't tell you like exactly how many. So he can't tell if there's been a new sub come up, but he'll ask me, hey, have you had any new subscribers in the past couple of days or anything, or how's it going? Because now he can't see it because of how YouTube does the numbers now when you're a little bit over. But he was like, hey, that was a good video. Hey, not too bad. Oh, you're editing. You just did a pop-up. How did you do that? He's been really impressed with the skills and the things and wanting to encourage, and I'm like, I don't want, he says, we need to get you a computer. And I said, I don't want to spend money for something I'm not making that money. He goes, it's not about the money that you're bringing in. He says it's about what you're giving of yourself. It's about what the friends that you're creating. He says the rest of it, don't worry about it.
And if it makes it easier for editing too, or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's good. He's very, very supportive.
I've seen her husband on video, and I've seen her husband in person.
See my husband dance on one of them.
When we were FaceTiming. When we were FaceTiming.
Yes,
when we were planning, we had a FaceTime meeting, and he was on there. He was coming in doing his stuff, and he was by saying, "Hey," we were just talking to him and stuff. So yes, he's very sweet, and your husband's definitely very sweet. So all of our hubs are good people. Yeah. And so if you have a person who's behind you in real life, believe what they say, cherish what they say, be thankful for them, And if you feel like you're by yourself and you don't have anybody, email me, text me, well not text me, Instagram me, Instagram me, and Instagram us, and we will definitely watch your channel and we'll support you.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
Alrighty, Beanbeauti. So I just want to kind of give you a little bit of a heads up since the holidays are coming, so you'll know you can put these dates on the calendar. I will list them here. I will list them in the description box. That way y'all can kind of keep track of whose channel is going to be hosting what. So this is November the 28th, which is Thanksgiving Day. The next month, we're already going to be into next month, which will be December the 5th. I will be hosting a game. I'm going to have a bonus video. So I'll be hosting a game with the 3 of us. Then December the 12th, we will have Laura the Camel Chica. She's going to have about Christmas gift ideas. Will be on her channel. The week after that, we're quite not sure. We probably might have a bonus in there somewhere, but we'll let y'all know. And then the 12/26 will be on Deleen's channel, Yoshia Lux, and she's going to be talking about a memorable Christmas, right? Is that what it is? Memorable Christmas.
And traditions.
And traditions, that's
And
right.
favorite Christmas movie.
Oh
Yes,
yeah, favorite
yes,
Christmas movie.
yes.
So start thinking about that. So that just kind of gives you a little heads up so that you can put it in your calendar so you don't miss what we're going to be bringing in. And then we're also looking for ideas for 2025. So please start putting them in the comment box, what y'all would like us to discuss. And like we said, something lighthearted, something fun, something interesting. We're not really going to be delving too much into difficult subjects. We do have a couple of things that we might skirt on, but not anything controversial or things like that. Exactly. Good word, not controversial. All right, Beanbeauties, thank you so much for being here with us. Happy Thanksgiving from
Laura the Camel Chica.
Deleen from Yoshia Lux.
and Dee Dee from Dee Dee Bean. Bye.